Hey, I'm Aaron from GameEnthus.com. In this video, I'm talking about Confusing Lands. Confusing Lands is a card/tile placement game about creating rather unique floating islands, as you do. Islands that float. Not on water, but on air. Confusing Lands was brought to the world by graphic designer, and artist, Zak Eidsvoog. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. Confusing Lands is also published by Envy Born Games, and it's playable from 1 or 2 players. Let's get into it. Confusing Lands being comprised of cards as tiles, tiles as cards, looking like tile placement. In a multiplayer game, 2 players. It's also a solo game, which I played as well. It plays similarly where you're getting rid of cards in the same way that you would get rid of stuff for another player, but everybody gets 2 cards, and you choose one to put into your environment. The one that you do not choose, you give to your opponents. And then you both get 2 more cards each, and the cycle will continue until everybody has 8 cards total in their environment, and then there's 1 card remaining from the deck. There are a total of 18 different cards with different scoring conditions. Number 8, and the rules do detail every single one of them. Number 8 is called Shaded Streams, and this one is each of your river spaces scores 4 points. Scores 4 points for each forest space it flows past. This is 15, and this is the Great Prairie. Score 2 points for each space in your largest group of connected empty spaces. Empty spaces are just grass, or with nothing on it. Like a bunch of little frowny faces, doesn't it? Just Anyway, this is number 14. 14 is as follows. Score 1 point for each space in your largest perfect square of spaces that contain no scoring conditions. So the picture tries to describe what they all are. I do find that you need the rules handy as a reference until you get really, really familiar with it, and then you'll just know for right now. And I tried it with the green screen camera, but there's a lot of green, so I would show these up close to the green screen camera, but yeah. And number 6 is Ancient Relics. Score 4 points each. Score 4 points for each crystal space that is neither near nor in the same row as another crystal space. So, placement rules. Now, on your first turn, you can place it on the scoring side, which also has an environment side. It just has a scoring side as well. Or you can just place it on the side that's just environment, with like cities and gems and deer and cities and gems. And one of the rules is you have to cover up at least 1 space of a card previously placed, which doesn't mean anything in the first turn, obviously. You also cannot cover up the scoring part of a card, so you can't do that because you'd be covering up a scoring condition. So everybody picks what they're going to do, and then they do it. Let's say I want to start an area with just grass. So I play this card. I will give this card to my opponent. They have to decide what they're doing eventually. So they want no rows or columns with gems. That seems interesting. So they're going to also put the scoring side up, and then they get this card, and then this card goes over to this player. And they can do with it what they will. So I have to cover something up. So let's say I cover up this mountain right now. And obviously I don't want to do this because that would defeat the purpose. Let's say I did that. So they're all in different columns and different rows. Everybody will get 2 more cards each. We would do it again. And you can put down as many scoring condition cards as you want. That's up to you. This one is 16. It's called Land of the Plenty. So you would rescore your lowest scoring condition. Interesting. Oh, and these are wolves. I did not know what that was at first. But I mean, now I see a wolf, but initially I thought it was an ant or something. Obviously there's a limited amount of space, but I was not sure that was a wolf. But that is indeed a wolf. And just something to remember is that you can rotate cards 90 degrees. So you can rotate cards before you place them. You can't cover the scoring condition. You can't just put them side by side. It's not going to work. And you can't tuck them either, unfortunately. So you can't tuck, can't place them side by side, and you can't place them at anything other than a 90-degree angle, all that kind of stuff. So that is how you play Confusing Lands. So my thoughts on Confusing Lands. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. However, maybe it's just me. For some reason, the iconography was not really clicking with me. It's not that it was cryptic, but I found that I was constantly looking at the manual, the rules, to ascertain what all the goals are. So there's 18 cards, I believe. I believe there's like 16 to 18 cards, so each have their own different rule set of how to score it. I felt like maybe I spent a little bit too much time looking at the rules to sort of jog my memory on what the iconography meant. And it's not that it's like the worst iconography or, just impossible to understand. It's just, I kept having to reference it, like, to make sure that I was doing it right. Now, that might be a familiarity thing where if I played it a lot more, then I would just know. That could very well be the case. But I felt like, even having played consecutive games in a session, I was still like, oh, what is 11? Or what is 15? I don't know. I wish the iconography was easier for me to memorize, I guess. It might be a me thing. I don't know. I like the game. It is fun. There are some card/tile placement games I'll probably reach for first, but this one is not bad at all. It is fun and it's quick, and that's why you can play games kind of back to back to back, because it goes by rather quickly, which is a plus. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a good thing. It is a fun game. I just wish I didn't spend as much time on face period and the rules to memorize what some of the different scoring conditions were, and some just felt interesting, like the one where you have a wolf on the card with one of the villages, and the scoring is like you get 8 points for every village that's at least 5 spaces away from it. And I wondered, like, well, why is there a village? Like, you can't score the village on the card. Like, I mean, I get it. It just was like, then why put the village there? Like, why make me even think there was a possibility that the card would score in and of itself? Which I guess most of them don't do that anyway. It probably would not be at the top of the list of these types of games that I would reach for, but it's not like at the bottom either. It's just not like in the top 5, but it's certainly like in the top 10, if that makes more sense. So I enjoyed it, but it's not necessarily the first one I would reach for, if you follow me. And if I've rambled enough and sufficiently enough. Hope that all wasn't too confused. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Anyway, I'm Aaron. And I'm Aaron from GameEnthus.com. Thank you for watching. Take care, stay safe, and be blessed.